What's poppin', beautiful people? Welcome into my The Valley review. We are here to go over season 3, episode 4. The title of this episode was titled Mariposa Momma. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, not much really came out of this episode. There's not a lot to talk about, but I do like to finish what I start. The Valley reviews will continue in this format. I'm not going to be doing live streams for them, but I appreciate everybody who is tuning in and watching our video reviews of it. I also encourage people, if you really enjoy what we're doing on the channel, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. It is an easy and free way to support the channel. I am extremely close to monetizing. I wouldn't be able to even get this close without the support of everybody else. So whether you subscribe or not, if you stopped by, watched our review for a second, a minute or more, I genuinely appreciate you guys because y'all keeping the ball rolling, as they say. But I also want to take a moment to encourage everybody to tap in with the links that are in the description of this video. There's information on myself, my channel, how you can reach me on other platforms, as well as other great creators that sometimes co-host on this channel. There's also a Black Creator Spotlight. So shout out to everybody that's in that. Let's get into this episode of The Valley, though. We start with Nia and Danny. They are discussing Jason and their party that they had recently. And, you know, Nia kind of has the attitude of she wants to move forward. She wants to make peace. Danny has that attitude also, but I think Nia and Danny also are both showing they are not punks. They're not going to be mistreated. They have proven that they can be accountable when they do something wrong as it relates to Janet and Jason and the behavior Janet and Jason we're talking about. Danny's apologized for it. Nia's apologized for it. Hell, these people go to therapy anytime they need to talk something through. So I feel like they have a right to feel how they feel about Jason and Janet. Now, Danny explains that to Nia that Luke wants him to talk with Jason, but Danny kind of says he's not expecting to be friends. He's not interested in being friends. He reminds us that Jason isn't just defending his wife. He has called Danny names, alluded he's an alcoholic, alluded that he's essayed people. He's done some stuff that's like realistically unforgivable. So I don't blame Danny for being trepidatious about dealing with them again, because I wouldn't want to deal with them again either. But I respect Danny for being a good sport for the sake of the show. So the next thing we see is Jason's weak self meeting with Tom Schwartz, and Jesse joins in. And apparently, Jesse doesn't like the fact that Janet spoke negatively about his current girlfriend. Listen, I get Jesse for wanting to stick beside his female. Even though his marriage to Michelle was dead, he still was willing to stand up to Kristen on behalf of his woman. So Jesse's just the type of dude that's going to stick beside his woman regardless. I'm not mad at him for that. But in the case of Lacey, the new girlfriend, one, based on what we saw in the last episode with Lacey, she's a red flag. I don't even know if she's fully interested in Jesse. I feel like she wants to protect her alimony because we know that homegirl is going through a divorce. And I feel like she's dealing with Jesse to have a man, but I don't feel like it'll ever be anything like super serious and go far. Two, Jesse, she threatened to sue people, caused problems with production, which could have impacted Jesse being on the show. He has to understand that while we respect you sticking beside your female, he has to understand that when it comes to suing people or making certain allegations, some stuff is just not forgivable and people are not going to be okay with it. And we cannot blame people for that. We just can't. So I want Jesse to let this go. If they don't want to deal with your bitch, they don't want to deal with her. They don't have to. She should be enough for just you. So get over it. And I don't even want to defend Janet because I don't like Janet, but I'm like, Jesse, Janet not liking Lacey and saying what she said, it makes sense. And she had every right to say that. The situation with Danny, not so much. The situation with this, yes. But moving forward, beautiful people, the next thing that we see, again, not much happened this episode, so I'm going to do my very best that I can. Michelle is looking to change her engagement ring. I'm not really going to discuss that too much. I do respect Michelle for making it clear and acknowledging the fact that at one point she had a beautiful relationship with Jesse. But, you know, it's a sad thing, but people fall out of love sometimes, and it looks like that's the case with them. So, you know, I respect her for not saying too much. But Kristen, Jasmine, and Brittany, they go out to eat. There's some awkward energy when they go out to eat. And I was like, what is this? And it's Kristen. I guess she wasn't feeling well. It looks like she was in one of her moods. She's going through postpartum. I will never judge a woman for postpartum. Now, unless you're just doing some crazy off the wall evil stuff, I'm not going to judge you for postpartum. I have not had a child. I do not know what it feels like to deal with all of the hormones that come with pregnancy and then suddenly have to deal with all of my hormones trying to put themselves back together. I can imagine that to be difficult. My very good friend who also braids my hair, shout out to Melita, she has 5 children. Some women, they adjust. Some women, they don't. Some women struggle. But Kristen, this is her first child. So, of course, I do expect her to have a larger postpartum struggle. I wish her the best, and I think her friends were supporting her the best way that they knew how. But they do discuss Brittany's new boyfriend, Brandon. Everybody agrees homeboy is messy. And Brittany just giggles and it's like, well, just be happy for me. It's like, girl, it's hard to be happy for someone so doggone stupid. Like, ugh, I just don't understand. I just genuinely cannot understand. But we're gonna wish Brittany the best with Brandon. I feel like Brandon was messy. He didn't need to be in their business, but it is what it is. As it relates to what happens next, you guys, we then see the men go to a cigar lounge. Danny does join in. At the cigar lounge, there are some things that come about. One of the things that comes about is Danny. He makes it clear, he says that he does regret his behavior. And, while I understand, him regretting his behavior, I'm just kind of like, you have to say a little more. It can't just be the whole situation with your wife. Like, I personally don't like how Danny moved. I genuinely don't like it. I don't know if I'm going to get past it. But I guess we should be happy that he offered some type of apology. But Danny was very quick to retract his apology as soon as, not Danny, I'm sorry. Oh, I get them confused. Jason was very quick to retract his apology and saying he regrets his behavior the moment that Danny made it clear that he's not interested in being friends. And I don't think Jason liked that, but I don't think he understands the gravity. And that's why his apology comes off fake. The reason that Danny is not willing to just accept your apology is because you haven't apologized genuinely. Every time they apologize, they backtrack and double down on what they said. That's not an apology. And Luke pointed out, like, the issue is probably this main issue of you guys saying that Danny essayed someone when nothing even happened to him. And Luke points out, not only have you guys not apologized for it, but you've backed it up and doubled down on it numerous times. And Danny still wasn't showing any type of understanding. So I'm kind of looking at this situation like the fact that you wanted to retract your apology, Jason, and the fact that you can't understand it, accusing someone of SA as an attorney. Like, I just feel like you're defending your wife a little too hard. It's okay to also defend your wife while holding her accountable. Like, she shouldn't have said what she said. And that's just that. Just say, I can't control what my wife says and does, but I don't agree with it. That would have even worked. But instead, Danny chose to take it to hell. But they're not going to make any peace. Jason's just not willing to see anything. He started bringing up the pantry, and I'm like, again, every single thing you guys bring up, Danny has already apologized for. So why are you people upset? As Danny said himself, he hasn't done anything to y'all. Even the stuff they're mad about was done to other people, not her. So at what point do you get over it? This is why Jasmine called your wife a Karen, Jason. This is exactly why. But, we'll see what happens with them. I'm not mad at Nia. I'm not mad at Danny. I feel like stand on business, do what you do. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. I'm just not. I can't be. But we're going to move into the next thing that happened in the show. Again, this is going to be a very short recap. Luke and Danny, they meet up and they kind of talk about their relationships a little bit because they both just had a new baby. Danny's got 4 under 4. But Luke is going through it with Kristen because of her postpartum. He doesn't feel heard. He feels like his needs are ignored. On top of that, he's not getting none. And he essentially feels like Kristen doesn't respect the sacrifices that he has made for her, their family, and their situation. I do empathize with Luke. I think him and Kristen will figure it out. I think Danny gave the best advice. He said when he and Nia go through a hard time, that's when they hit up a couples counselor to help them work through things. I think that was the best advice that anybody could have given. That's genuinely how I feel, because a couples counselor, that's what they're there for. A lot of people go to counseling when it's too late, when a lot of times you should go to help you navigate stuff. Sometimes we just need a mediator. Doesn't mean something's broken. A mediator just might be necessitated. That's just the way it is. So I hope that Luke takes the advice. We do know that he does, because the final scene of the show is Luke and Kristen on a date night. Kristen was very excited, reminiscing about her back in the day. However, they had Zach, Brittany, and Tom Schwartz babysit, which I think was smart. They had the camera. Love technology. It probably makes it easier on new parents. But on the date night, Kristen and Luke end up getting into it. Not too bad. You could tell there's like a respect. But Kristen says that there's a lot of stuff that she's wanted to discuss that she hasn't felt capable or able to discuss with Luke. And part of the reason why she feels that way is because she doesn't like to argue in front of Kaya, which is their daughter. And I can understand that, because babies absolutely pick up on energy. Even when people think, oh, they can't talk, they can't walk, they're not catching it. They absolutely do and can catch and feel energy. But it just sounds like they're struggling. Kristen's postpartum. He's struggling to be a new dad. He's also living in an area that's far away from his family. He's homesick. And Kristen got mad that he came home from a guy's night and did the opposite of everything she asked of him. You know, I think they're just struggling to balance things. I think that this is a couple that will be okay. But I do appreciate Luke for suggesting counseling. And I appreciate Kristen for being willing to do that. You know, it's hard to parent when you have a new kid and are new parents, but it's even harder to have a successful relationship when you have just a new external factor involved. And that's what a kid is, a permanent factor that's going to be in their life. So I think they're adjusting. I hope that people give Kristen and Luke grace. They're new parents. They're doing the best they can with what they got. That's all they could do. But that's really it, you guys. I don't have much to add on this episode. I don't have much bad to say. I don't have the greatest things to say. I did watch What Happens Live. It looks like a lot of the audience is still siding with Danny and Nia over the Jason and Janet situation. I am not surprised. Those with common sense will. The Valley, I definitely feel like they need to change it up. It's starting to feel like Vanderpump Rules before it got to a point where it wasn't so interesting. I do hope they change it up and switch it up. I think they have to figure out if they want to go with the marriage and parent life, or if they want to go with the single life, because there's a clear divide in the group. But regardless of what, I will keep covering this show. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel. Be sure to check out the community post tab on the channel. I will let you guys know when my next live will be. Other than that, love and light to all of you beautiful people. Friday brings us time to go over the Housewives of Beverly Hills as well as Ladies of London. So those will be up Friday, April the 24th. Other than that, love and light to everybody. I hope everybody has a very good day, and I'll see y'all next time. Adios.